The biggest position in most NFL drafts, this one especially, is the quarterback. QBs are slated to be picked with 4 of the top 5 picks. And then I'll start with Caleb Williams, the consensus #1 quarterback. They're going to follow the ball. That's what you have to do when you're playing the zone defense. Beautiful finish. But it wasn't about the finish, it was about the options. Everyone's over on this side of the court, they're following the ball. But look, he could have gone here, he could have gone here. So many guys that could get an open 3-point shot.
Usually in the dome when there's turf, they're playing football or lacrosse. But today, that's not the case, because just behind this black curtain, Lil Yachty is performing here at Syracuse University for the annual Block Party event.
Metro Boomin and Future released their second collab album in 3 weeks. This time they put out a whopping 25 new songs on We Still Don't Trust You. The album features Lil Baby, A$AP Rocky, The Weeknd, and one of the last people you'd expect, J. Cole. Yeah, the guy that dissed Kendrick Lamar in a response to his verse that was featured on the We Don't Trust You that released last month. And just a few days after that release, Cole announced at a concert that he felt bad for it. Take a listen. Tomorrow, Joe Girard will be back in the dome wearing orange, but this time it's going to be for the other team. Clemson's coming up to Syracuse with JG3 running the offense. And Fair got hot from behind the arc, and that's usually when things go good for the Orange. Deasia Fair, when you thought it couldn't get any better, it just does. A Syracuse career-high 38 points. She had a 40 ball a couple years ago when she was at Buffalo. The biggest position in most NFL drafts, this one especially, is the quarterback. QBs are slated to be picked with 4 of the top 5 picks. And then I'll start with Caleb Williams, the consensus #1 quarterback in this year's draft. He's really calm and knows when to escape the pocket, a patient passer, and a very accurate on his balls with a great quarterbacks coach and his coach that he followed from Oklahoma to USC and Lincoln Riley. Next guy on the list, Jaden Daniels, great deep ball accuracy and ball placement. Oh yeah, he can run the ball too. The big concern is his size. He's 6'4", but very thin, wiry frame. He won the Heisman this year, though, a great prospect out of LSU. Drake May, really elite natural arm talent. He does a nice job of making broken plays work, but one concern is once the pocket collapses, sometimes makes poor decisions. And J.J. McCarthy, he's great at making throws over the middle of the field. Some call him a game manager. A lot of handoffs at Michigan, but that also proved to be a strength. He won the national championship in his final season, but the most interesting prospects aren't the top 4 that we just talked about. They're the last 2 on the right side of your screen that I'm looking at. Michael Penix Jr. is a guy who is probably the highest upside, a guy that's built like Patrick Mahomes with the biggest arm strength in the draft. A lot of teams will be regretting passing up on him in 5 years. And Bo Nix, he improved so much throughout his college career. It makes you wonder what level he could reach with the right staff and stars around him. The Bears, Commanders, Patriots, and Broncos will all be likely looking to go under center early on with their picks. And don't forget about Denver. They might trade up if the Cardinals don't get their guy, Marvin Harrison Jr., with the 4th pick. Day 1 of the draft is tomorrow in Detroit. Syracuse's biggest struggle down the stretch has been their depth. One way to manage that, you can run a zone. It worked when they beat #7 North Carolina. It didn't work when they played the worst team in the ACC, Louisville. They won that game, but they allowed 92 points. So how did Kenny Payne's team, a team that couldn't beat a zone to save its life for the rest of the season, do it against Syracuse? Let's find out. Because it wasn't always about the outside shooting. It was about the inside as well. Malik Brown's going to cut in here. He's going to take the ball handler, but that just leaves Glenn wide open on the back door for the easy score, the easy flush, and they're going to swing it around here to White and watch everyone. They're going to follow the ball. That's what you have to do when you're playing the zone defense. Beautiful finish. But it wasn't about the finish, it was about the options. Everyone's over on this side of the court, they're following the ball. But look, he could have gone here, he could have gone here. So many guys that could get an open 3-point shot for the Cardinals. And this wasn't about the defense, it was about the boards. Watch J.J. Starling on this play. He leaves his man because he's following Tyler Johnson. He misses the shot, and then White, an easy flush, because no one is assigned to box him out. Everyone's eyes are up toward the basket, and he just gets the easy jam. He had a big game, 17 points. But it's not always so bad. If you run it right, it works well. They force a travel, they don't call it. But look at Chris Bell. He's going to pinch in because they're going to try to get it inside the paint. Doesn't want it to be a repeat of that first play we saw. And they're going to run out the shot clock, get a bad shot. And Syracuse, if they run it right, they run it well. And they've won 3 straight against the Cardinals, looking to make it 4 tonight. Tip-off is at 8 in the Yum Center. Tomorrow, Joe Girard will be back in the dome wearing orange, but this time it's going to be for the other team. Clemson's coming up to Syracuse with JG3 running the offense. It's the first time the Glens Falls native will be back in the Dome since he transferred after last season. And Clemson, boy oh boy, are they hot. They just came off an upset road win against number 3 North Carolina and Chapel Hill. But it's not just Girard you have to worry about. It's the guy who sets his screens. That's P.J. Hall, averaging over 20 points a game. He can finish inside, he can shoot outside, and this is a guy who just shows so much attitude on the floor. You love him when he's on your team, but you hate him when you're playing against him. He can do it all, taking a charge from the big Armando Bacot. That's tough. And then Joe Girard, Syracuse fans, they're familiar with this. Shooting the lights out from deep, a big part in that road win in Chapel Hill. This duo has been doing it all season long. Girard shooting more threes than he ever did at Syracuse, and he's making more of them too. Also, top of the conference, shooting 93% from the free throw line. And P.J. Hall and Ian Shefflin, they're going to try and dominate the Orange in the paint, because after the Benny Williams dismissal, they played 7 deep in their last game against Louisville, where they scored 94 points in a 2-point victory, and they're going to need to score all those points and have a little bit of defense as well if they're going to try and spoil Joe's return. It's tomorrow in the Dome, noon. Griffin, back to you.
It certainly has, and there's a definite home court advantage here for Syracuse, and they've going back-to-back. They got a quality win yesterday versus Boston College, and that was a kind of a hiatus from that Columbia loss. It's good to get those legs moving, getting some real game experience back. That'll help the Orange today.
And for Syracuse, the momentum all starts with the doubles point. It's how they've gotten their wins this season, and the number 1 doubles pairing, especially potent in doing so, ranked number 39 in the nation.
Certainly. Victoria Kennepitt-Skaya and Shiori Ito, a dynamic duo. They struggled yesterday. The whole team struggled yesterday with doubles, but on the year, they've been really good. They're content with hitting those long balls, playing the point out, making their opponent make the mistakes.
And on the opposite side for UMass, a team that's really good with net play, led up front by the senior Danielle Hack.
Danielle Hack, really a leader on this team, a quiet leader, but she leads by example. She's really good at the net too. And her partner, Belle Jongra-Tracul, she's really good at the net. She loves to poach, very aggressive for this UMass Minutewomen team.
Yeah, well, this might just be the best team on the hill this year. Syracuse women's basketball off to a great start. Felicia Leggett-Jack completely transformed the program in just her 2nd season at the helm. They took campus by storm when they started the season 14-2, and then they put the nation on notice when they beat number 15 Florida State, a team they hadn't beaten in 3 years. They started off January with a loss at North Carolina, but then they rattled off 6 straight ACC wins. They have a couple easier games like Wake Forest and Pittsburgh that they do win, but then they get tested with a couple top 15 teams in the nation and a really impressive game on the road against Notre Dame. And then that's when the momentum starts to kind of shift. They lose by 13 to Virginia Tech, and then they lose by 12 to Louisville on the road. They get a chance to bounce back, though. Those are both ranked losses, so not terrible losses for the Orange, and they get back on track against Boston College. The Eagles struggled this year. Definitely not a gimme, though, for the Orange. A back-and-forth game the whole time. Tied 49 apiece going into the 4th quarter. 13 lean changes at this one. 4th quarter, though, that's when it all went in the Orange's favor. They drew a lot of fouls to get to the charity stripe, and Fair got hot from behind the arc. And that's usually when things go good for the Orange. Deasia Fair, when you thought it couldn't get any better, it just does. A Syracuse career high 38 points. She had a 40 ball a couple years ago when she was at Buffalo, and she limits her turnovers. Great overall player in her final season playing collegiately with the Orange. Deasia Fair just carrying this squad, and it looks like for now, Cuse back on the winning track, sitting at number 3 in the ACC. Metro Boomin and Future released their 2nd collab album in 3 weeks. This time they put out a whopping 25 new songs on We Still Don't Trust You. The album features Lil Baby, A$AP Rocky, The Weeknd, and one of the last people you'd expect, J. Cole. Yeah, the guy that dissed Kendrick Lamar in a response to his verse that was featured on the We Don't Trust You that released last month. And just a few days after that release, Cole announced at a concert that he felt bad for it. Take a listen.
So I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. It's one part of that that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest I ever did in my life, right?
Sources are saying that some Cole bars in the new track are dissing Drake. Everyone's catching strays, but time will tell. And if history rhymes, we might be hearing another J. Cole apology in the next week. And a big-time rapper is coming to the campus at the end of the month. Lil Yachty, who just released a new album last week, will be the headliner for University Union's annual block party in the Dome. The 26-year-old rapper will be joined by hip-hop artist Tizo Touchdown, DJ ISO EXO, and SU student DJ group Theme. The concert will be on Friday, April 26th, and tickets are going to be $15 for Syracuse and ESF students. And a popular musical is coming to Syracuse this week, Hadestown. The tour will be performing 8 shows at the Landmark Theater from Tuesday the 16th to Sunday the 21st. The show was the winner of 8 Tony Awards in 2019 and even won a Grammy in 2020. The group is currently performing in Philadelphia and will be off to Boston after leaving the 315. And yesterday was the first of 3 straight days of fashion and music in California. Coachella is back for its 23rd installment, and fans have a lot to look forward to. Whether they're watching online or in person, Tyler, the Creator, headlines today, while Doja Cat headlines the Sunday group. And if it makes any difference, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will be there to see it all go down.
Usually in the Dome when there's turf, they're playing football or lacrosse. But today, that's not the case, because just behind this black curtain, Lil Yachty is performing here at Syracuse University for the annual block party event.
But it wasn't just Lil Yachty. He performed with rapper Caribou, DJ ISO EXO, Tizo Touchdown, and SU student group Theme.
Well, I mean, we kind of just started doing this in like our dorm room. It was kind of like peak COVID, so we'd like invite everyone in our like dorm like hall. No one would come. So then when we moved into the cage where we now like do our shows, that's kind of like the biggest that we performed at. So this is definitely like a huge step up, a strange step up, but we're here. So yeah.
I mean, it was surreal. I think just even walking in here when we first all just like walked onto the field before getting on stage, then it I think really hit for us. And then just waiting there and waiting, and then it was the fastest 30 minutes of our lives probably.
Feels like I was one of the people in the crowd that just like snuck on stage and just started DJing. You didn't really feel like this is real. Like, are we supposed to be up here?
The group was especially glad to perform with other mainstream artists like Lil Yachty.
Well, he's one of like the guys that's defined high school. So yeah, it's awesome. He's such an incredible artist. And like these other artists too, Tizo and Caribou and ISO, just like it's a great lineup. So to be a part of it's a huge honor.
This was also the first year the University Union allowed non-SU or ESF students to attend the event. Ethan Hale used this to advantage and also brought a non-Syracuse guest.
I wanted to see Lil Canoe perform. I've been a fan for a while now. Just seeing all the people from Syracuse come together really brings everybody on the campus together.
Riley Underwood, Citrus TV. University Union puts on events all throughout the year. Friday's show was a student showcase that featured 3 Syracuse University student bands, and the upbeat atmosphere was well received by the artists.
We play a lot of basement venues, so this is nice to be able to hear ourselves better and play in a much bigger space. And I love the stage, the acoustics, it's all very professional and really good sound system, so it was really exciting.
With so much to prepare for, University Union Concert Research Coordinator Bryce Papier credits one thing for the organization's constant programming success.
Our team was the best help, and I think we did a great job of putting it together, and it's executed very well.
Jeremy Lanuti of Mimicking Mars describes the surreal moment the lead singer learned he would be performing.
I cried. I was so excited. I wept. I called my grandparents, my loved ones, and I said, I made it.
And above all, one thing brings all these music fans together.
I love the community of it. I think there's a lot of great bands around here, and just being a part of that, I think is really cool.
It's fun to like make connections with the other groups and forming the community, just building it from the ground up. It's a lot of fun.
Riley Underwood, Citrus TV's Unpeeled.